Hi, it's Kevin Lebates here, and this is a follow-up to yesterday's rant. I just read a post by Michael Creedon where he pointed to a CNBC piece on which Joseph Stiglitz made some pronouncements on cryptocurrency, and I found it hilarious because what happened in that video clip that I saw pretty much ticked every one of the boxes that I mentioned in yesterday's post. So Joseph Stiglitz is on the Times 100 World Most Influential People list. He's a Nobel-prize winning economist and financial advisor to successive US governments. And in the video, the thing that most people picked up on is that he said that cryptocurrencies should be shut down. And the reasons he gave for this is that they are used for illegal purposes, and that we have the US dollar, which is a perfectly good form of money. Oh, and that cryptocurrencies are not money. So I just kind of I had to laugh when I saw that. We have a world-renowned expert on macroeconomics making pronouncements about cryptocurrency. So let's look at the first thing. Cryptocurrency should be shut down. Good luck. You know, they're out there. They're distributed. They're decentralized. It's like trying to shut down the internet. It's not going to happen. So making that kind of statement is totally pointless. It's as pointless as the prohibition was from 1920 to 1933, and what's more, trying to shut down the production and consumption of alcohol in the US actually gave organized crime and the mafia a rung up on the ladder. So I would imagine that the same kind of attempts in cryptocurrency would actually worsen the use of cryptocurrencies for crime, because law-abiding citizens would be the ones who would be reducing their activity on there. But in any case, trying to ban people owning a 256-bit number and storing a large computer file on their computer in the decentralized internet is just not going to happen. So the second thing he was mentioning, that cryptocurrencies are not money. Well, when I look up the classical definition of money in economics textbooks, I think the only one that cryptocurrencies currently fail on is price stability. You know, they satisfy all the other definitions of money. So and given that they've only been around for a decade, it's not surprising that they haven't stabilized yet. I imagine that in about 10 years, 15 years time, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin will find their natural level. But for now, we're still coming to grips with this new stuff, so of course it's all over the shop. But still not bad going for something that's only been running a decade. And then finally we had the usual cryptocurrencies are used for crime. Well, all the studies show that it's actually a fairly small proportion of cryptocurrency transactions that are used for that, and not that it justifies the criminal use of cryptocurrencies, but I would again point you over to, for example, JP Morgan aiding Bernie Madoff in the laundering of $76 billion and only being fined $2 billion for their part in it. Or Swedbank of Sweden's recent woes, where it turns out that I think it's $5 billion they're being investigated for, but it's suspected that up to $200 billion of money laundering activity has been taking place through this supposedly reliable Nordic bank. So far it's resulted in the CEO having to quit. I imagine there'll be more fallout, but yeah, I don't think that the existing systems are proving themselves to be that good, to be honest. So really it's a bit of a case of the pot calling the kettle black. Anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd do a follow-up on yesterday's post, because these are actually concrete examples of what I'm talking about. And I'm kind of struck again by the fact that the old guard experts, I don't know what it is about as you get older. I mean, I'm heading that way myself, so I guess that I'm going to fall into that trap soon as well. But it's like watching aging rock and roll stars trying to pretend that they're still as radical and leading edge as they were when they were young, which is of course not the case. Anyway, again, this one's a bit all over the place. I think it's because it's something that I feel sort of a bit emotional about. But there you go, a follow-up to yesterday's rant on cryptocurrencies as they are seen by the establishment. I'll return to technical stuff in the next video. Bye for now.